Okay, so I uploaded this video and it disappeared. So I don't know if it disappeared because I was talking about what a female officer did to me or not, but I think that that's not fair that I'm not able to talk about what a female police officer did to me. Why are you trying to take my right away to talk about when a police officer, a female police officer, pulled a gun out on me? I just made the video and all of a sudden it disappeared. It's not showing anymore. And that was rather quick that it was taken down too. I didn't mention any names. All I did was tell my personal story of what happened. So why is my video about a female cop pulling a gun out on me being taken down? What does that have to do with anybody else? Like I said, I'm going to try to make this video again because I want to see if for some reason why my video is being taken down. Like I said, I was driving downtown. I looked in my rear view mirror. I saw a police car. For some reason, it looked like it was getting closer and closer to me, even though there was a lot of traffic. It felt like people were actually making way for this police officer to get directly behind me. So there was a homeless man or something walking across the street. The light was red, and I saw the police officer lady was directly behind me. I put on my right hand blinker. I turned like a dummy instead of staying in the view of a lot of traffic. I wanted to see if the officer was following me. So I turned, and the officer did follow me. I turned again, and the officer followed me again. They put their lights on after they had followed me that far. So as soon as the officer, they didn't use the talkie thing over their little intercom thing. She got out the car and she had her gun pointed at me at the car. And I just, kind of freaked out and turned the car off to let them know that I wasn't going to try to escape and run. And then I also did something stupid and I got out the car and put my hands up. I had on flat clothes, a spaghetti strap shirt that was tight fitted. Then I also had on long spandex tights that were tight fitted. And I also had on sandals. I turned around in a full circle with my hands up to show her that I did not have any weapons. So why are you trying to delete this video? So she still has the gun out, and she told me to get back in the car. And I was wondering, why does she want me to get back in the car? Isn't it more safer for me to be right here? So my windows were up, and she said, put the windows down. And I was like, God told me, if you put them windows down and you reach, because you have to turn back on the car, she's going to try to say you did something and might shoot you. So she's just yelling. And then I finally yell over her. She's like, put the windows down. I said, I can't put the windows down because in order to put the windows down, I have to turn the car back on. And she said, well, why didn't you tell me that? And I said, well, because you wouldn't let me. You were yelling over me every time I tried to talk. And so I put the windows down. I don't remember the gun after that. And then she was just like I have on. You can hear them now. They got sirens going on. I guess they don't want me to tell this story. So she could have. looked up the whole time if there was anything about me. There was nothing that gave her the sign that I was a dangerous person. She said that my tints were dark, which my tints were legal, and she said that I could have had a bomb in the car. But like I said, if she was that scared and threatened, I just feel like she could have looked and saw that there's nothing on my criminal history that indicates anything of such sort. There's nothing that would tell her that I'm a dangerous person. And so I'm just like, okay, so she starts going through my car because I just graduated college. All my stuff was kind of packed, and I was going to my friend's house. I was moving from one friend to another friend's house. So basically, she just started looking like it was like she was looking at all my stuff. Like she wanted to look at my stuff, see what I had, like what I was packing. So I asked her, I said, I was being kind of like not really sarcastic. I was actually just being honest. Like, do you know my teacher? Because one of my teachers, there was a female teacher that was really rude to me, and it felt like she was doing some stalkerish cyber hacking type stuff to me. So I asked her if she knew her. And she said, no, I don't know your teachers. I don't know anybody. Because it was so close to when I graduated, and that teacher acted like I didn't deserve anything, even though I graduated, with honors. And so I asked the lady, she asked me for my ID and car insurance, and I really couldn't find it at the time. And so I was just like, she told me to, I guess, get out the car because I was out the car. And I asked her, like, why did you pull a gun out on me? Why did you pull a gun out on me? I said, ma'am, do you have a camera? Do you have the camera on? Because I wanted to make sure that the camera was on because I didn't want her trying to shoot me or do something weird to me the way she came out, just pointing the gun at me. And so she's like, ma'am, I'm going to live today. And so she put the cuffs on me. And luckily there was two white guys passing by from a building. And I was like, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything illegal and I didn't do anything to you. I'm just asking why you put the cuffs on me. I mean, why you pulled the gun out on me. So she had an African American partner and she just looked like she was scared. Like it was her first day of work. That's all I'm gonna say on that. And she wasn't talking to her partner or anything like that. Like, I think that, that's good, everything's fine. Let's just move forward with, what we're doing. And so I told her, hey, I don't trust you. I don't trust what's going on right now. Can you call somebody else? And like, can you call your supervisor or whatever? And so she said some number on the walkie-talkie thing, and then like 5 laws showed up in like 5 minutes. I don't know, it just seemed really quick. And so I'm like, oh my God, like, wow, 5 more. But one was smoking a cigarette. So I was like, okay. It was like mainly, it was white male cops. And then one, he was another dude. He seems a little more kind of like aggressive type person. And he like grabbed me by my arm and he was like walking me over there. And I was like, sir, why are you grabbing me by my arm like that? I can walk by myself. I don't really need you to do that. And it was like the door was right here and they had me right here telling me to look for my license and driver's license when they could have looked in my purse for it. So it was him, it was her, and he ran me into the lady, like to where I would bump into her. And I said, I felt like it was, kind of trying to cause an issue. So I was like, sir, is this something racist or something? And he was like, yeah, sure, this is racist. I'm like, well, you're kind of like bumping me into her, and I don't know what's going on. You got me hidden behind the door. Like, I feel like y'all could just kind of try to shoot me right here and act like I did something. So are you going to delete my video for saying that? So I was just like, so they finally found my driver's license ID. They tried to say I didn't have my insurance. Come to find out, I did have insurance. It was paid for a total of 6 months. And I was just going through so much in college, I had forgot about it. I didn't even open the envelope until a long time later, and I saw that my insurance is paid for. So why didn't it say that? The insurance people, when I called them, they tried to tell me, "Oh yeah, we didn't keep all the documents in our system, blah blah blah," whatever they were a part of. And so which they started acting like they were scared of me when I went up there. They had security up there because I started questioning like what they were doing and if they were a part. I started believing they was a part of something too. And so the chief showed up and I told him, I was just like concerned because, I've seen how a lot of African Americans get killed. And he was like telling me that he felt offended by that because his daughter-in-law or somebody is married to an African American person. And I was like, well, this isn't good for him to feel offended while I'm sitting here feeling offended myself that I got a gun pulled out on me. Okay, so basically, he was like telling her, to get the cuffs off of me. And she was like, well, we usually take people to jail for this and take their car and all that, but we're going to give you a warning. So I guess they gave me a warning because, they pulled the gun out on me. And so now the weird thing about this is, well, I'm just going to keep it there. So they basically gave me a warning, but then there was something that ended up happening with that. They basically said, I don't know, the connection broke up, but now it's okay. So with that, they basically gave me the warning, and he told me, well, if you have any problems with how my officer acted, then you can make a report. They know me up there. It's no problem. So he told her, did she want to take the cuffs off me? Which I didn't like that. I just wanted him to take it off me. But she did, and she said that, oh, well, we usually do this and that. But it wouldn't have stood very long because, like I said, come to find out, I had insurance and it was paid for 6 months. So I had a storage. I went to the storage and I put my important documents in there. And this dude who worked at the storage for some reason at the time, unlike the other people who worked there before I saw him, he looked like a cop. So I said something. I said, do you look like a police officer? He was a little bit older. He's like, yeah, I used to be an ex cop. And I'm like, oh, okay. And, of course, I thought that that was suspicious. And so I put my documents in there. I tried not to think anything of it. Just there's nothing really I could do. And so I used one of their locks, paid for it, put it on there, and I came back and my lock was turned this way. I don't turn my lock that way. I'm this looked like somebody who was left-handed, and my lock faces this way, and it was turned that way. So I asked them, did somebody go through my lock? They said that nobody's supposed to do that. Well, they did, and my ticket, that the pink slip that said warning, was missing. So I said that's really suspicious. And then months and months and months later, almost a year later, when these people set up this car accident and tried to get me in a wreck, the police officer was like, you have a warrant for your arrest. I said, no. And he mentioned that. So that's when I found out that that ticket was missing. And I'm like, this is weird. And other police had pulled me over maybe once for speeding while I was doing my job trying to get stuff. And they never told me anything about a warrant. But all of a sudden, this person told me I had a warrant for my arrest and it was dealing with that. So I ended up paying fines and all this stuff behind something that I shouldn't have been paying. But then that's when they got rid of everybody's that thing where you pay over time with the ticket. And so I was just like, and you can't get a refund because I would be getting a refund. And I paid over $2,000 for something I shouldn't have paid for. So it was just all weird. That was the first time that, well, it better be the last time. I never expected that I would get a gun pulled out on me ever, and not by a police officer for sure. And I don't know, I felt like this lady was like either she knew me and had something against me. I don't know. It was just weird. It just felt like she was after me, but I don't know. And or she had a bad day with her boyfriend or something. It was like a strange energy. Like it wasn't normal. So I don't know. And then they like at the job that I would work at, they would kind of bring up that name of that person because like I know her last name because I remember who pulled the gun out on me, and like I would keep getting that last name. It would pop up here and there, and I would just remember that person again. And so I was just like, yeah, pretty strange. So, and it was also strange that this video disappeared. And I'm the type of person that I'm gonna get out what I have to say one way or another. And if you try to do that, you're making me feel threatened. Then I'm just gonna keep trying and until I'm able to succeed at something. Because there's no reason why I can't tell my story about what happened to me when a female police officer, pulled a gun out on me. Why are you trying to hide that? What's the big secret? So I would go like to court if I would have to go to court for it, and I would talk to people. I'd be like, "Yeah, I got a gun pulled out on me," and they're like, "Oh my God, are you serious? Like, I don't believe it." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I would be talking to them about what happened, what happened with their situation, and they would be like, "Oh, well, they should have been able to look up your car insurance and stuff like that." And like everybody that I would talk to, they would dismiss them out of court like fast. Like so and so, they would like call their name, and then I would talk to like the next person, like, so what happened with your situation? And then they would be like, so and so, they would call that person. And it was like, I was literally the last person. I was like, no, I was like, I'm probably going to be the last person that they call because they're trying to keep me in here. But that's another story. I ended up being like third to last. And I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, all I can think of is that I'm trying to be successful. I'm trying to stay on, a positive path. I've always wanted to be a positive person. And so it's like, but I feel like when I do that, it's like something or somebody wants to attack me. Like even when I was in college, this lady was like acting like I didn't deserve to be in college. I didn't deserve an education. And it's like it doesn't matter, where what a person has been through, like whether they came out of, the foster care system, whether, they struggled before in their life. Like I know I'm a good person and I know I haven't done those type of dramatic things that they're trying to act like they wish I did to where like oh, there's nothing that they can say. And even if somebody did something horrible and they turn their life around and they want to do better, why are you doing that? Now you're telling them, she's mad because I want to do something good with my life. And she's trying to say, for whatever reason, you can find out, that I don't deserve to be successful. And there's absolutely no reason. You have no reason on me. They know that there's a lot to this. And that's why they don't want me to tell these stories. Because if I keep telling these stories about these things that have happened to me, you will see that I've been victimized time after time. You will see that I have tried to make sure that everything goes good in my life and that I stay in a positive place, in a positive situation. But they don't want you to see that. And they don't want you to see because they rather me die a certain type of way than for any type of success to completely flourish and for me to be able to smile and be proud of myself. It's like people can't stand that. They cannot stand my black ass being happy about anything. So that's my story about what happened to me. And I really don't have anything else to say right now. Um, I have other stories like that, similar to that, believe it or not. Luckily, it doesn't involve a police officer pulling a gun out on me, but I mean, it's pretty close. So, trying, but I haven't gotten there yet. And like I said, the only reason why I'm really talking about this, I kept this in for so long, so many years, is because it's getting really, really bad. It's getting bad. These people are like on my heels, dude. Like to where it's like I feel like it's time for me to tell my story because and then it's funny that as soon as I tell the story, they try to delete it from YouTube immediately. So it's like maybe God is telling me, tell your story, tell what happened, speak out. You have a voice. People need to know exactly what you're going through so they can understand more of where you're coming from. And then when I put it out there, they delete the video because it's titled "A Female Cop That Pulled a Gun Out on Me." But what about me? What about what I went through? What about my feelings? What about who I am as a person? I didn't say the female cop's name. So, you know, even if I did, I mean, it's like they have their story and I have mine, just like we do in court. So now when I started telling this story, every time I try to talk about what a cop did, somebody runs over to the gang stalking house, like that boss dude that used to be boss. It looked like he ran over there real quick as soon as I started telling the story. He ended up being at that house. And then this dude who has this loud car, he drove down real fast when I started telling the story too. The next time I started telling the story. So yeah, I don't know what they're trying to watch, who they're trying to protect, but it ain't me. They ain't trying to protect me. So that's why I'm here. I'm telling my story because I have a responsibility to try to protect myself as much as possible. And people should know where I'm coming from, and they should be able to know the history and things that have gone on in my life so they can see the full spectrum of how I may be feeling inside and why I feel the way that I feel. And if I went to therapy, if I saw a psychiatrist, this is the exact same things that I would be telling them. So thank you for listening. And whoever is here or not and trying to delete my video, stop deleting my video. Thank you.